when we are making our cultural dances here, you have seen Buburo East in particular. You see how God works. Buburo East are people of these hand bells and wrist bells. You have seen it. Bubutu, Bumbo, Greater Bubutu, Greater Bumbo. And it is a constituency. Can you imagine? And I'm from there. So you tell me, we don't use thigh bells, we use wrist bells. That's the difference. 2, we are descended from 6 families of Bamasaba. 6 families of Bamasaba. 3, our cultural site is Bukusu. We have this hill called Bukusu. In Bugobero, I think, is it Bugobero sub-county or so? It is in Bugobero. Bukusu, and that's where we go. We go there frequently. Yeah, I think this year we must be going there next month after my swearing in. We'll be moving there. As Bukusu, we are Masaba of Bukusu sub-clan. So, but now if you tell me that we are Bagisu, I don't know that one. I don't know completely. Now the other issue and the misconception which somebody, and I must say this in a vulgar language, stupidly, he is a vice chairman of Bugisu Cooperative Union. My brother, Honorable Nandal, is my chairman, respectable chairman. They don't even know the history. It is the colonialists who called us Bagisu. In every document, whether the legical, whether the councils of Maruku, if you go there, you will get that kind of history. In Maruku, Bagisu, Bagisu, Bagisu. But where Masaba came to form their own company, they called it Masaba, like Masaba Cooperative Union, like Masaba SES, where they formed themselves. Now, Bugisu Cooperative Union was not ours. In 1929, there was a coffee boom here. Now, the Indians were cheating Bamasaba with the coffee which had been established in 1912. Now, but that boom was heavy, and the colonial government, certain of course, wanted the money, taxes and whatever. So the Indians were the middlemen. The colonial government put a company called BCS, Bugisu Coffee Scheme. Bugisu Coffee Scheme. And they established 4 centers in Buburo, Namutembi, here, where after Busamaga, then they went to is it Magumba, Nampanga, and this place in the Buyaga. Those were the 4 centers. Now in 1954, when we had the farmers' riots from 1948, the colonial government said, let us leave the Bamasaba, and so we took over. In 1954, September 23rd, we took over those small unions, amalgamated them together from Bugisu Coffee Scheme to Bugisu Cooperative Union. Come on, people who don't know history. Superficial, they come up, is he not a vice chairman of Bugisu Cooperative Union? Is Nandala not a chairman of Bugisu Cooperative Union? Without knowing the history. You see, first of all, they don't even read, or they don't mind going back to the archives to know what happened then. You see? So, I want them to know that even in the constitution, let them check from the ordinances to the first constitution in 1961, 62, 61, then that of 62, we are called Bagisu by the colonial government. So the mistake has come, just like you call Uganda. Uganda is not, we are not supposed to be Uganda. But because somebody misspelled the Cohens, then we had the Captain Dundas, who were governors, calling, instead of saying Uganda, they would say Uganda. And we lived in that mistake. But we are Masaba, sons of Masaba, sons of Masaba. My children are sons of Musira, if they don't know. Can we call this mountain Elgon? Is Elgon our language? No. This is Mount Masaba. And I mean, he did it very well when he called it Mount Masaba. See? So I want people to understand this and clearly so. Sober up. Let us sober up. We are causing confusion. Now, two other issues, and lastly, of course, the Imbaru is in complete jeopardy. And this year we may not have the ceremony here. The three greater sub-clans of the first one, Mwambu. The second one, me, Mubuya. Although Mubuya has the branch of with the Bukusu. And then Wanare, the last born. Wanare usually is the host, being the last born, is the host. And the Mutoto clan is the host, which opens Imbaru. Because Papa Masaba was kept by his last born, Wanare. You get me right? Wanare until he passed on. At that time, there were no barriers. They would simply throw somewhere like that. Now, we follow that kind of tradition. Tell me, if you say you are Umukuga we Bugisu, now, but these are Aba Masaba, Amumu Masaba. So you don't have to come here. Go to your Bugisu. Go to your Bugisu. The other day I had old men had some function like me, because we are going to have a function there for Mubutu and Mumba. I'm going to repair those houses. Now, if I'm chased away from there, then that would be awkward, ridiculous completely. Completely. I'm told they were chased with one misuse of government arms, of police and the military. That is misuse. And I want to call upon the commander of the 3rd Division. I want to call upon the RPC. Those quarrels don't concern you. These are cultural quarrels. Unless if they have exploded into chaos, that's when you can come in. But when people are deliberating on their issues, I don't see why. I don't see why. That is misplaced. I mean, don't you have work to do? We have criminals in town here. Chase the criminals. Why do you go to people who are simply sitting and deliberating? That's not right. So I wish to end with this. One, that chaos is going to bring trouble, that we may not have the ceremony this year in August. Because number one, Ba Mutoto are the people who host Mutoto clan of Wanare. They are the ones who give us the children to circumcise. Are they going to give us? No. I've talked to them. No. Two, the surgeons, the circumcisers. I mean, we can't go into chaos. So we have called upon all circumcisers, all surgeons, stop it. We don't want an illegal, somebody who is now king. By the way, younger people, let me again tell you this. In the Constitution, I think, is it 246 or something? There are two things. A cultural leader or a hereditary leader. You get me right? A traditional leader. Those are the two words used. Now, who is a cultural leader? Here it is a cultural institution. We have a cultural institution. We follow the tenets of our culture. Now, the traditional leaders like Buganda, like Toro, we have Bunyoro, those who had traditional leadership. Those are traditional institutions. With us here, we are a cultural institution. I'm not a lawyer. Yes, they can go to government for interpretation of the law. If they don't know, let them go and know what the interpretation is. We are a cultural kingdom, not a traditional kingdom, no. Thirdly, maybe let me add this very quickly. We, Masaba, have never been led by a king and a hereditary one at that. No, we have never. With us, if you want the type, the model of democracy we had, we are a Republican democracy. Republican, everybody knew Baba Ambo, Baki Sasati, others like my brother, honorable brother Nandara is Bakama. The other side we call them Bahoma. Bakama. You get me right? All of us speak the same language. We circumcise. We have the same traditions and whatever. We are a republican democracy, not an autocratic monarchical leadership. No. That's why the framers of the constitution were careful to separate between cultural institution and a traditional institution. The Baganda, Banyoro, and others. And the Banyoro did it very well. Because at one time, the colonialists like Lugard and others did not want to call them Banyoro. They had given them another name, but they stuck to their name, Banyoro. It is us here, Bamasaba, who have been sold away so easily to maintain the name Bajisu. Even the framers of the 95 Constitution should have seen that and corrected it to Bamasaba instead of leaving Bagisu. I want to end with the call number 1 that Umukuka comes up and sobers up and denounces. We will correct it, including even his installation date. I can compromise if he says he's going to relinquish power like others, but to say you are going to be hereditary and permanent and pensionable, pole sana, hatuwezi kabisa. No. So
you are saying not to lie for Mukoka?
We are a cultural institution, and I've said our formation traditionally, we are Republican Democrats. We do not have a central monarchical thing like Buganda. No. No. Actually, most of the eastern and the parts of northern. No. Those are his own schemes. Number 3, we want to be hereditary and alive Umukuka. Then we must ask the other 2 predecessors, you get me right, to come up and finish up until Umukuka wa Mimbi should raise up so that he completes up to his death again, second death. Mushiko Ori should also go up to second death before we appoint him. You get me right? Because they already gave a precedence. I was a minister of information in Musira wa Mimbi's administration. But we gave out power to Mzee Mushiko, you see? And Mushiko also gave to him. Who is he now? Impossible. Impossible. Chaos. Chaos only. Impossible. Thank you.